All right, guys. My name's Alberto, aka Destroyer 48. And if you're here for Transformers 1, the movie that's still out in theaters, brand spanking new, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you like my videos, guys. So yeah, I saw Transformer 1 at the movies, and this will be my review. So let's just jump into it, shall we? Yeah. So we're gonna go over scenes over Transformers 1. So let's get it popping. Let's go over these scenes. All right, you got a planet called Oricon. It's not called Cybertron. And please bear with me. I've only seen this film once, so the names are kind of different because this is before the Transformers, or this is the beginnings, and not everybody's gonna have the same name. So we got Oricon, the planet, and supposedly, not supposedly, Oricon. Was also a robot that created all the Transformers and stuff. So that's the beginning, and it's now in Oricon planet form. Um, you're gonna they're gonna have the story about the primes. They're gonna call the primes the Transformers that can transform. It's like the origins. They're powerful transformers, but they call them the primes usually, and they usually call them primes. I don't think they call them transformer primes too much, because sometimes they just refer to them the primes. And the primes have fought with the Quiznos. The Quiznos, kind of another race of alien, somewhat kind of like robots too, but they're a little bit different. But we'll get into them later. But so they are gonna tell us that there was a battle between the Transformer Primes and the Quiznos. But yeah, like I say, we'll jump into that later. But we're gonna start off the story as well with these miners. They are. We're gonna start with our Orion Pack. I'm gonna have problems with the names, so please bear with me. Orion Pack. He's a robot, and we are gonna find out that he's a robot that's a miner, and I'm not gonna call him a transformer because the miner robots, they're definitely robots, but they do not have the ability to transform. But they do know about transforming because there's robots above them that can transform. For example, to start off in the very beginning, where Ryan Pack is, he's somewhere looking into Transformer records. It's like it would be kind of like a library. I'm trying to look for the word, but kind of like a library kind of place. And they have the Transformer records, and there'll be like a computer that will project images of the Transformer history, and he is stopped by some some Transformers, like robots that can transform like Transformers, and they keep telling him he does not have access archives. That's the word I'm looking for. The archives of the Transformers, and these Transformer guards can transform. They tell him, "Hey, don't be messing around here and all that. We're gonna take you in." And he runs away from them, and he tricks them. He goes, "Well, look, I'll transform." And he starts to transform, but very minimal, and he can't transform. And he runs out, and because he can't transform, and they chase him down, and he escapes. Um, I think he escapes. But anyways, after that, he ends up in the mines, and he befriends his other robot called D12, and they become friends. They go to their mine. They go to the mining stuff. You have to work hard in the mines. There, you will meet Elita One. Elita One is a female robot miner, but she's like a boss, and She's looking over the other miner robots, and so you're gonna see them working in the mines, and they're underground too. They're underground looking for mines. They're looking for energon, and y'all know from it. I don't know. Energon is it's usually used in the '80s Transformers. What I grew up with, and Energon what gives the Transformers or the robots their energy. So they have to mine underground for it. So they keep mining, and then they are visited by Sentinel 1 Prime, which is he's like the leader and the hero of all these robots, especially the Transformers. Well, especially the miners, because the miners can't even transform. And Sentinel is with other like the other security robots in the archives. They can transform, and there's others that can transform with them. But Sentinel 1 ends up telling the miners like they're like his peasants, and they worship it. It looks like he likes him. It looks like a nice guy. Sentinel 1 Prime looks like a nice robot transformer. And yes, he comes on the big screen, and all the miners are looking at him, and he's like, "Well, I went looking for the Matrix. So yeah, the Matrix is missing. I went looking for the Matrix and the surface up high because remember they're down there, mining. And yeah, he's like, I'm looking for the Matrix, but we were unsuccessful. That's the bad news." He's like, "It's a bad news, good news, but the good news is we are gonna have a race." And there the miners are like, "Oh, okay, anyways, yeah." So they're gonna have a race like the next day or something. Um, then we got Orion uh, Pack. They actually have beds and stuff. The miners and they're all. He's up and he wakes up robot D12. And he tells him, "Hey, let's get on in this race." And D12's like, "Hey, well, only Transformers. You have to be able to transform to participate in the race." And like, "Well, I'll find a way we could get on there. We'll use jetpacks." And like, "Okay, great." D12's like, "Okay." Well, actually, he's defiant. He's like, "No." It's kind of like that thing where someone's getting in trouble, and like D12's like, "No, I don't want to." But Orion Pack twists his arm and not literally, but talks to him into, "Come on, let's go." And like, "Oh, okay." So they're gonna try to get in a race using jetpacks because they can't transform. We get to the race and Sentinel 1 Prime is there, and he's like, "Okay, ready, go." And all the all the Transformers take off. The race is really cool because you're gonna have Transformers in vehicles, and you're gonna have some that are in aircraft, and they take off, and there's a lot of them. There's like a bunch. I don't know. There might be over 100 racers, maybe. On like I say, some are cars and some are aircraft, either like jets and helicopters, what have you. And Orion Pack and D12, like they said, they were gonna join. They go into jetpacks and they try to beat the other racers in the race. And there's a part where they crash or something, and they're like, "Oh, we're losing, all the racers past us." And then they find some kind of cannon, kind of something that shoots out, I don't know, some factory thing, and they get in front of it and it shoots them out, and they get way ahead of the other racers. So they're winning the race, and then something happens, they crash again or something, and then they're like, "Hey, we're winning," and then somebody beats them, some other Transformer beats them, like, "Yes, I won." And like, we would have came in second, and then the rest the rest of the Transformers come and they pass them. But the race is awesome. You gotta see the vehicles again, the aircraft and the cars. They look super awesome, look really cool. um, After that, they call in both Orion Pack and D12 to go meet Sentinel One. They're like, "Oh, you're in trouble now." He calls them in, but looks like Sentinel Prime One is gonna Sentinel One Prime is gonna scold them, get after him, but no, he doesn't get after him. He says, "No, I like your creativity that you want to get in the race and all that. You're not Transformers." And he's like, "Oh, okay, great." They're like, "Great," and then he's like, "Tell you what, I'm busy. I gotta go right now, but I got to." He's like, "I gotta go right now, but you can hang out at this my place or whatever like that." And they're like, "We can hang out there. It's cool, some cool place, whatever. I guess it's his pad." And he's like, "Okay, I'll see you guys later." And he goes, "This robot over here, this transformer here, will tell you where to go. He'll show you the way over there." And they're like, "Cool." And then this robot says, and they're like, "We can't wait to go over there." And this robot says, "You're not going over there." And I'm like, "No, but maybe you misunderstood, you know." Sentinel One Prime says, "To take us there." Like, "No, but I'm not sending you there." So he's gonna send them to some work detail that's where they burn stuff. It's like one of those people that have basins and they have a place to burn stuff downstairs. What do you call it? A furnace. So they go there and they're supposed to work and burn stuff, but they run into B127, so another robot, and they meet up with him and they get to know him and stuff like that. And then they end up leaving there, almost like they escape. They leave there, so it's Orion Pack, D12, and B127. They leave there, and then I forgot to mention they got Alita One fired from her bossing job, whatever, and then they end up getting with her later on to another job, and they get her fired from there too, something like that. And then Ryan Pack has another crazy idea. He wants them to go look for the Matrix. They want to. They're still underground, but they want to go to the surface and they want to go look for the Matrix. So once again, D12's like, "No, we shouldn't do that." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, "Let's go." So and like he twists his arm again, not literally, but he's like, "Come on." And D12, "Okay, we'll go look for the Matrix." So all four of them, Alita One, the new B127, and Orion Pack and D12 go up. They go up to the surface, and when they get up, they there's actually like robot kind of deers. You can see them have their big ears, act like human, like not human deers, animal deers, but they look up like this and stuff like that. And there's a whole bunch of them. They're like, "Oh, cool, we're in the surface." So they're there, and then I think they end up falling in like a pit or something, and they find the prime robots, the legendary prime robots that fought the Quiznoids. I don't know, something like that. But it's the same ancient battle of Quiznoids and fighting the primes, Transformer primes. They see so they fall into this place, and yeah, it's the Transformer primes, and they all look like dead robot bodies everywhere. But they notice there's one that still looks like it has a little electricity burning in it, and it turns out to be Alpha Trion. And the Alpha Trion Prime is one of the primes, and one of the robots, I think it's B127, gives him like an energon cube like that. If he puts it in his mouth, and I don't want to say reanimated. Oh, he's revived. Alpha Trion is revived, and he comes back to life somewhat. He can move and talk and stuff, and He's kind of like, where am I, and all this, and these four robots are like, you're in Oratron, Oracron. And he's like, what's been going on? He's like, well, Sentinel One is our leader, and he's like, Sentinel One Prime is a leader. He's like, yeah. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna tell you, you robots, that you guys been lied to. They're like, what? Sentinel One, he's our leader. You know, we follow him, we trust him. He's like, nah, he lied to you, and he starts telling the story of the going back to the Primes versus the Quiznos um, war. And he says, well, back in the past, like a flashback, us Transformer Primes, we're gonna go to battle with the Quiznos, and they outnumbered us, and we're gonna have the battle, and the Quiznos, they outnumbered us by a lot, a whole lot. But we're like, we'll give it a go. So the Transformer Prime started fighting with the Quiznos that were outnumbered, and they put up a valiant fight. But they were outnumbered. But they're like, but like Alpha Trion was like, but we were. It looks like we were gonna win. But Sentinel One Prime betrayed us, and he started killing us, and then along with the overwhelming odds of the Quiznos, they all attacked us, and they killed us. He's like, I thought I was dead too, but you guys revived me. And he goes, and he says, so Sentinel One Prime went with, he betrayed us, and he went with the Quiznos. He was in cahoots with them the whole time. He was with them. And he made you miners not able. You see how you can't transform? Well, he made you guys. He took away your crogs. You know what a crog is? It's like I think it goes under chest. It's like a kind of a part, a metal part or a metal device that gives you ability to transform. He goes, he took away your crogs. But Alpha Triton goes, well, that's gonna change now. I'm gonna give you your crogs back. And he goes to, like, with magic powers, he elevates the crogs from the dead robots, the dead Transformer Primes, and he takes the crogs, four of the crogs get out of the four dead body Transformer Primes. They elevate, and then they go. One goes into B-127. One goes into D-12. One goes into Alita 1. And one goes to Orion Pack. And they're all able to they get more powerful, but they're supposed to get the ability to transform, but they have to learn how to transform along with that power. So you see them learn how to transform and stuff like that. And then we got enemy robots coming from Sentinel minions from Sentinel One Primes. His minion robots. They're gonna attack them, but Alpha Trion's like, you guys go ahead. I'm gonna go fend them off. Don't worry about me or whatever. And Alpha Trion is able to. He turns like into kind of like I don't even know, like kind of like a rhino, kind of like almost a leprechaun. No, not leprechaun. A rhino, kind of unicorn is what I think, kind of a robot, and he fights very well. He fights off these enemy robots really good, but they end up taking them out. So all four robots have left. And they left because Alpha Trion told them, and these enemy robots took out Alpha Trion. So they're all on their own, and then it turns out that they get ambushed by all four robots. Or now they're Transformers. Now I can call them Transformers. You see, so all four Transformers, now they can transform. They are ambushed by some other robots, and then they are taken captive. And they are knocked out, and when they revive, they find out they are among some new, or not, well, some some Transformers called the or some robots, some Transformers. Yeah, yeah, they are Transformers. They're called the Guard, and they the first one they see is a Starscream. Starscream is in a throne, and they're up. They're still outside, but there is a throne outside. Starscream's there, and Shockwave is there, and Soundwave is there from the original '80s cartoons. They look like that. They look cool, but they're known as a high guard. There you go. They're known as a high guard, and Starscream's like, yeah, they talking about their history and stuff, how they know the primes and all that. They know about the story with them and the Quiznos, and it looks like they're on the side of the primes. They want to get rid of the Quiznos because behind the scenes, the Quiznos are the ones that actually rule that planet. Uh, the Icon planet, and it seems as the story goes on, D12 is getting more meaner and meaner. He's really mad that Sentinel One has betrayed them. Yeah, he's really with the. Oh, by the way, and um, they start fighting out. Well, they're betrayed, so the miners. Sentinel One is still is the one is working with still working with the Quiznos, and the miners are actually have been mining energon for for the energon's not going to not even a Sentinel One Prime. They're going to the Quiznos. Uh, Sentinel Prime One is giving the energon they mine from the miners to the Quiznos. So the Quiznos are the ones that really empower, not Sentinel One Prime. Um, since D12 has more powers, he's gonna call out Starscream. He wants to fight Starscream. He's just getting more power grubbing and greedy. He fights Starscream. Starscream puts a little bit of a fight, but D12 is actually able to defeat Starscream with his new powers, and Starscream looks pretty big. Um, After that, they're gonna get attacked by more enemy robots, more enemy robots, Transformers, by minions of Sentinel Prime One. There's gonna be a fight, and it looks like they're outnumbered with Sentinel Prime's minions versus the High Guard and uh, the High Guard, along with Starscream, Shockwave, and Soundwave, and the four new Transformers. And what ends up happening is they have the fight, and the battle scene is really cool. It's really cool and stuff. But they end up Sentinel One's minions actually end up capturing D12 and B127, and along with other High Guard, they capture some of them too, and what's left behind. And in that battle, Araya Pack is he's under some rubble. He got into some trouble in the fight. And he got in some rubble. Alita One doesn't want to take him out of the rubble, and it turns out, and it's just a scene with them. They show them, but it's gonna turn out that Shockwave and Soundwave have avoided capture, along with some other guardsmen that have not been captured. Um, then we're gonna have we're at Sentinel One's back at his place. He he's at a place, and he has his minions there, his minion transformer robots, and they have I think there's Quiznos. Well, they don't show the Quiznos there, but they have, you see his minions and Sentinel One Primes, or minion transformers and Sentinel One Primes They're all there, and then they have the capture high guard uh, Transformers out there, and they have B-127 and D-12, and they all have like their hands behind their back, like they're tied with some kind of energy handcuffs or something, and they're all kneeling down, and he's like D-12 is like, you know what, I'm never. He tells Sentinel Prime is like, you guys are captured. He tells his whole speech that they haven't captured, but D-12 says, you know what, I'm never gonna kneel to you again. He starts getting up, and it looks like Sentinel One Prime is gonna kill um, D-12, but it turns out that now Sentinel Prime and his minions are gonna be attacked by the rest of the the High Guard that avoid capture, and Orion Pack, and Elita One. And it's really cute because I really like this part. Elita One is like in a spaceship kind of jet or some kind of aircraft, and she's with Shockwave and Soundwave, and you know Soundwave and Shockwave are gonna be Decepticons later, and so it looks like the bad guys and the good guys are fighting at one point, and they're trying to take down Sentinel Prime One and the Quiznos. So they're being attacked, and they uh they rescue D-12 from being killed by Sentinel One Prime. So there's a big fight. It's awesome again. You got all these Transformers flying around. Some transform, some not, and so they're fighting and stuff like that, and uh, somewhere around there, Orion Pack is gonna find the Matrix, or the Matrix looks like it's actually given to him, and through some wisdom or power, and he becomes Optimus Prime, and then and then Megatron. I'm sorry, D-12 turns into Megatron, and I'm gonna go ahead and stop it there because I promised you guys that the only last thing I'll say is they do learn how to transform and stuff like that. And I told you guys, no, I'm not gonna give a spoiler alert ending since it's a new movie. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop it there. Now I'm gonna give you my final comments. The battle scenes. There's two major battle scenes, and those are the best ones. All those Transformers flying and living, it looks really good. It looks really good. The Transformers flying, some turn into aircraft, some into cars. The battling fights, fist fights are good. It has a good story. It's just I don't know, the story to me it's like another version, because I've heard like other past Transformer stories from the movies and from the original Transformers and from these Transformers from the 90s. Well, I can't really speak for the Transformers of the 90s because I really didn't see those that much. I didn't see Beast Wars and all that stuff. My cup of tea is when I grew up, because I'm older, with Transformers from the 80s. And I did see Transformers, the movies and stuff like that. It has a good story. It's like, yeah, it could have happened that way. That's the way the Transformers started in their history with the Quiznos. But I think they were called the Quizonauts, but I think names they're I think they're it's like names change during time, because D-12 excuse me, D-12 ends up being Megatron, and Orion Pack ends up being Optimus Prime. Um, um, I forgot to put down that say Orion Pack, they do get a chance to go back with the workers, the miners, and they get them to fight too with the guardsmen, the miners, and the four robots. Sorry for that, but like I tell you, I've only seen it once. I'm not gonna remember every single detail. once I get it on DVD. I plan on getting on. I recommend. Here's one thing I can talk about. I recommend you get if you can afford it. You know, if some of us have a budget. Like I can't afford to get all Blu-ray movies. I have to some get it just on DVD or whatever y'all use the internet or whatever. But this is me. If I really like a movie, I'll get it on Blu-ray. I would recommend to get it on Blu-ray. If you're on a budget and all that, you just get it on DVD or just look it up on the internet. Wait for it to come out. Um, Sentinel. Let's go by the coolness factor. Alpha Trion looks. He looks okay. He looks pretty cool he transforms into a rhino. The other primes, they boost them up. You see them when they're fighting in the beginning or in the flashback. They look pretty cool. The race looks pretty cool. All the transformers, they're transforming, like, for the exception of D12 and Orion Pack, because they're minors. They can't transform at the time. The racing part is super cool. The two battles are really cool. The middle battle and the middle battle. I really liked the high guard. They were very creative about it. I never thought I would see a young D12, like he's not even Megatron yet, and he's already fighting Starscream. That's already a Transformer, and D12 um, beats him. I mean, how did D12 learn how to fight, or did he get that powerful to beat Starscream? Because remember, D12 was a minor, but he had already turned into. They already had the powers to transform, and he transforms into a tank, by the way. But he doesn't. I forgot to mention it because, and in the original '80s, he turns into a powerful gun that can kill other Autobots. I never heard the word Autobots. Another thing we talk about. I never heard the word Autobots ever. I didn't hear Transformers that much. I heard more Primes. Later on, they start saying Transformers, but that's when they get the ability to transform. No, the four robots. I didn't ruin the ending. They don't. I don't remember them saying Galvatron. I'm sorry, Galvatron. That's beyond Megatron. Uh, is it Galvatron? I'm trying to. Cybertron. That's what I'm trying to say. Cybertron. I never heard them say that once. It's called Oricon or something like that. That's the name of the planet. Oricon with an O. Um, I mean it's like I don't know. It just looks good. It looks good. To me, it's acceptable. I will say this: I'm not very picky. A lot of people are very picky. I'm not, so that's why I enjoyed it. Uh, So let's go through it real quick again. The racing scene is the most awesome part. All the Transformers racing aircraft and cars. The battle where they meet the High Guard and the four Transformers, the main ones. Um, where they get attacked by Sentinel Prime's minions. And they capture B-127 and D-12 and some of the High Guards. That was cool. And then I like that some of the High Guards were not captured, along with Shockwave and Soundwave. The last battle, my best part, with Elita won, and she's like flying a jet kind of aircraft, and she has Soundwave and Shockwave back there, knowing that later on they will be enemies because Elita one's a good guy, a good robot. Later on will be an Autobot, I believe. That was really cute. And I like how they got and then with them and then the guards, the High Guard and the miners joining the fight. Sentinel Prime 1 and their minions, and that's where I stopped it. And then they rescue D12 from the grasp of Sentinel Prime 1 from being killed, and they rescue B-127, which will be B-127 is going to be Bumblebee later on. Actually, I don't think they call him Bumblebee there. I think he's still B-127, but he did get the power to become a car. Yeah, I recommend you get him Blu-ray. It'd be pretty cool. If you can't get him DVD or see what you can. Babbling a lot, so I just be repeating myself. So I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you enjoyed my review. I hope y'all helped a little bit. Decide whether you wanna see this movie in the theaters or not, or way to get it on Blu-ray or DVD or what. So I hope to help a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the review. I'm gonna leave you with this. The world will never be a perfect place, but we can all make it better. Till next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So, yeah, help me out a bunch. So, um, my name is Alberto, aka Destroyer 48, and I will see you in the next review. Bye. Keep on rolling. Take care.